This is one of Japan's greatest unsolved mysteries. It's still a huge question on how the victim ended up in the squat toilet. The victim and the family still deserve justice even after all these years, and I'm going to be asking you guys what you think really happened. Did he get in there himself, or did someone put him there? I know. Looking very different today, you guys. Really want to go a little bit lighter with the hair, but I didn't have enough time. I still think it looks pretty cute. As you guys know, I am a Gemini, so one side bright, one side dark. Isn't this super cool? I thought this hair went super well with this like nude color kind of top and this cute choker. And don't worry, my hair is super healthy because I have a really amazing hair care. You guys already know the shampoo and conditioner that I always use, which is Function of Beauty. And they're also the sponsor for today's video, but I've been talking about them for almost a year now. Function of Beauty is a customizable hair and body care. All you have to do is take a fun quiz about what kind of hair types and goals that you have. And for example, I am a wavy hair, medium, and I have oily scalp, and my goals are to be anti-freeze, color protection, nourish the roots, replenish hair, and volumize. I just will never go back to the drugstore shampoo and conditioners anymore because these are clean ingredients. There's no parabens, sulfates, GMOs, toxins. It's 100% vegan and cruelty-free. And as you guys can see, I'm already on my like 4th bottle here. You could also customize your fragrance as well. I personally always get the eucalypts and the mint. Oh my god. They have a new mango scent. So if you love the tropical fruity scents, you guys will love this mango one. That's one of the reasons why my hair is always healthy and shiny, because it is a shampoo and conditioner just for my hair. And you guys can get 20% off your first box using the links down below, and I just love it. I personally just use it every single day. So thank you so much to Function of Beauty. I love it every time they sponsor me because I literally feel like a goddess with this hair. So this is one of the first Japanese unsolved mysteries that I've ever done. This is just one of a kind that no one can solve at this point. It was a Sunday evening in Japan in a village called Miyakoji. I believe this is in the Fukushima area of Japan. And we all know Fukushima is pretty known for their nuclear power plant and the nuclear accident that happened in 2011. On this particular evening, an elementary school teacher named Yumi Tanaka was going to use the outside bathroom near her female dormitory. She was a 23-year-old who just came back to her dorms after a couple days of holidays, and apparently I believe it was like the election holidays, so people had like a week off. Now this particular bathroom outside was a squatting toilet, and this was actually still a thing today. Even in Korea, they still have squatting toilets. I hate using them. I personally think it stinks a bit more. It's just awkward squatting. I just think it splashes more, if you know what I mean. So I'm not sure if she actually used the bathroom and then she looked down and saw this, or if it was right when she was going to use the bathroom. But anyways, she squatted down, looked down into the pit, and saw a pair of shoes. This gave her an eerie feeling and decided to check the other side of the squatting toilet, which is the septic tank area. So on the other side of the toilet, the sanitary truck will come, take the lid off, and then suction out all the waste that was collected over the months. She took this lid off. This is when she saw a human feet. She freaked out, of course, and she proceeded to call the police. When the police came, they realized that there was someone inside the septic tank, and they already knew that this person passed away. They tried to pull the man out, but because the septic tank was so tight and small, they had to call firefighters and professionals to actually take and excavate the whole septic tank out in order to pull this human. And I believe they had to cut the tube in order to take this man out. Eventually, the man was identified as a 26-year-old Kanno Naoyuki. He worked as a salesman in a subcontracting job for a nuclear power plant. He was found in a cradle position facing up. He had no top clothing on, had his pants on, but was barefoot, and he was hugging onto his neatly folded jacket. When they took Kanno's body to examine, of course, he was full of waste, and they say that the smell was so unbearable that he had to be cleaned about 2 times just for proper autopsy. The autopsy results concluded that he most likely died of hypothermia and compression of vessels and nerves from being in a confined place. Now remember, this happened in February, and they say that February in Japan is freezing cold, and I believe it also snowed during that week, so especially underground in a metal tube sitting there for a couple days, yes, it would have been very extremely cold. As you can see, this tank is U-shaped and it's very narrow. The toilet's side entrance was 20 centimeters or 7.8 inches with about 125 centimeters centimeters, length of the tube is 60 centimeters, max height of 50 centimeters. The entrance of the septic tank is 36 centimeters or only 14 inches. This is very, very tight, especially for a grown man to be stuck inside. Professionals say the only way he could have gone in was through the septic opening and not obviously the toilet side. Through the autopsy, they found that Kanno only had minor injuries like scratches and that there was no other significant damages such as broken bones or anywhere that was bleeding heavily. With only minor scratches like this, professionals believe that this indicates that Kanno himself went in there and he wasn't really forced inside. Professionals agree, saying that if he was forced inside by someone else, he would definitely have a lot more injuries. The biggest mystery is, how did Kanno get in this tiny little tube? He was 5'7" and his family and friends say that he had a very healthy figure. He was a 26-year-old, and as you could see in the pictures, family also say that he had a pretty good shoulder length, and apparently average Japanese man has 16 inches of shoulder length. In order to see if this was even possible to put yourself in there, there was a documentary crew who did a 3D simulation and put a real-life version of how this tank would have looked like in real life. And as you can see, it is small. It is very small. The simulation did show that if he did went in there by himself, this is how he would have entered, with hands first, and then twisted himself and tucked his legs in somehow. And he probably tucked his legs in because it was so cold. Some people might be asking, well, what if he died before he went in and someone forced him in there? But professionals believe that, again, if he did pass away before he went into the septic tank, he will have a lot more injuries because technically people would have to shove him in there. Another really weird thing is, remember, he was found with no top on and he was hugging his jacket, which means he took off his jacket in order to go in there purposely. Now, how did he even fold the jacket neatly according to the police, especially in this tight place? Like, how did he even move his hands around to like fold his jacket like that? I don't know. I am thinking that he took off his top, his jacket, threw the jacket in there first and then put himself in, and then somehow hugged the jacket in and then neatly folded it. Here's a really crazy information that I'm going to be talking about a little bit more later, but when the firefighter came to the scene with an excavator, he remembers the septic tank already being broken into by another company or another excavator. Now, he says that the doctors then took the body to a nearby office to cleanse him with water and then had a look at his body, which is obviously a very unprofessional way. We don't know why someone would act this way, especially in a possible murder case, homicide case, but we still till this day don't know who instructed these doctors and the septic tank people to come in and act this way. Another clue was that police found his car with the keys inside pretty much far away from the septic tank where he was found, but with his car keys inside, it could have indicated that he was not planning to go far. He was definitely planning to come back, but something happened along the way that made him never return to his car. Another clue was that, remember, only one of the shoe was found inside the septic tank, and his second shoe was actually found in a nearby dike, which was pretty bit far away from the toilet. So that could indicate to me that definitely he was running from his car, and he ran all the way from his car to this dike, lost his shoe, ran back to the female dormitory, and somehow hid there. Now, here are some of the theories that people suggest what could have happened and some more clues. Now, number one, this is a bit of a far-fetched one in my opinion, but this is what the police ruled at first. The first theory by the police was that he went in there on purpose to peep on females. As you guys know, there's a lot of cases of peeping toms. Could he have gone in there drunk one night and decided to do this? But of course, who in their right mind would get inside dirty feces, a dark and a cold tube? But again, some people were saying maybe he was drunk, maybe he was on something. I don't know how easy accessible drugs would be back in the 80s in Japan. The second theory that's kind of related to the first theory is that maybe he had claustrophilia, which is the opposite of claustrophobia. Apparently, this is when you feel a satisfaction of being in small spaces. Of course, with these two theories, the family and friends were very upset at the police because they knew Kanno as to be such a hardworking, amazing guy who had a lot of talents, and he was a very outgoing, spoken person, and they cannot believe that he would do any of this. And the third theory was that he was being targeted by his co-workers or someone in the political field. So in this political theory, 10 days before Kanno's death, there was a political election. I believe this election was for the mayor position. And back then, apparently in Japan, you were able to buy votes, which is obviously cheating. And Kanno knew about this. Kanno was a man who really believed in fairness, and once he found out about buying votes and all the corruptions going inside, he decided to not support the mayor anymore. And Kanno was on the side of not having any nuclear power plants in Fukushima because he knew the dangers that it would have among the people. But some people, including this mayor that he was supporting, wanted the nuclear power plant because it would help create jobs and to power the city. Now, people believe that there was high tension between the people who wanted the nuclear power plant and people who didn't, and it caused a big tension between the members. And some people believe that Kanno knew something about this team and some kind of secret or an action that he was going to take to try and bring down the mayor and election. Elections were very important according to these people because it moved the big money and power, of course. Going back a couple days before Kanno actually went missing, on the 24th of February, he had a work dinner gathering. And some believe that during this work gathering, this is when something happened, such as they were sharing certain information or some kind of disagreement or something went on. On the 25th of February, he left the house telling his father that he will be back soon after some errands. And this is when he never came back home. Forensic professionals believe that he died on the 26th and was discovered on the 28th. Really interesting clue is that the driver of the excavator truck that came to take out the pipes that came before the firefighter was called was revealed to be one of the main supporters of the mayor. So this theory suggests that someone or some team wanted to get rid of someone like Kanno that was against their ideas. But for those who don't believe in this theory, they question how can one man, a young 26-year-old, ever try to even bring down a mayor or a whole team? Maybe he couldn't bring down a whole team but overheard a certain secret. That could be possible. But then again, Kanno wasn't in a high position or anything, so it is odd that someone would even try to bring this young man down. Later, the election ended up winning with the pro-nuclear side. There's also a strange incident that happened 2 months before Kanno's death that could be related to Kanno. So another man who was working at the nuclear facility noticed a strange faulty vibration. I'm not really sure how nuclear power plants work and things like that, but apparently he noticed some kind of vibration that could cause a really big trouble or some kind of explosion in the facilities. Now, this man reported this incident to the higher authorities, and supposedly 3 days later, he died by jumping onto the trains. And just 2 days after this man died, that's when this extremely dangerous nuclear leakage happened. So how does this connect to Kanno's death? Basically, some believe that within the nuclear department, these two men might have heard or knew about a certain secret and had to be wiped out in order to hide something from the mass public. The last theory involves the woman that found Kanno, the elementary school teacher. After all, this teacher's fiance was the son of the election campaign strategist. Supposedly, all of them were good friends, the elementary school teachers, the fiance, and Kanno. And actually, the teacher was receiving an harassment call from an anonymous for a while, and Kanno was trying to help this teacher to find out who this anonymous caller was. And they actually reported it to the police because they were able to get the recording of whoever this harassment person was. And it was rumored that Kanno found out who the harasser was just before his death, and this harasser just wanted to get rid of Kanno. There's also some rumors about the elementary school teacher and just about how she found Kanno, because it was an evening apparently and it was really dark, and some people say like you don't really look inside the dark pit because it's dirty, it's smelly, and why would you look down there, especially at night, because it could be scary. And just the fact that because she saw a shoe, she went outside to look inside the septic tank is something that not normal people would really think. Because if it was me, I would be like, oh, there's a shoe inside. Okay, someone accidentally put it in there. I'm not gonna go outside and take the lid off and then see what happened. So, I mean, would you guys have done that? Maybe, maybe not. And how was it that in this pretty much public bathroom that a lot of people use, what are the odd chances that herself who knew Kanno discovered him? But anyway, at the end of the day, whatever the theories are, there's still really eerie questions about how Kanno put himself in there. Number one, I feel like it's really weird how the shoe was found in the toilet side, meaning above his head. Did he like grab his shoe from down there and then put it inside? I mean, why would he have done that? The only way I believe the shoe would have been there is if someone put it in there. Like someone just was able to get a shoe and put it inside the toilet area and just left him for dead. Was he running away? If so, why didn't he run away to somewhere else? Why did he have to put himself inside this toilet? Some people believe that there had to be a second person holding Kanno's leg in order for him to successfully put himself in there without any injuries. So could there have been another person? Now Kanno's mother, who is actually still alive till this day, she claims that back when this happened, she even went to a psychic to see what could have happened. And the only thing that the psychic told her was that he did not do this to himself. But they don't know anything outside of that information. Kanno's father was so desperate, he even read all the books that he can about crime in order to solve his son's mystery one day. My personal 2 cents is that I do believe that he did crawl in there himself. Rather he did it willingly, or rather someone forced him to, like told him to do this or he's gonna get killed. Why he had to hide in that particular spot, we don't know. Maybe it was just a terrible mistake that he thought of in a split second because of survival reasons. One way to help these cases, and especially my channel, is to hit the like button so that the algorithm will hit and more people will know about these cases and these victims that we should never forget about. And also if you hit the notification bell, I reply to all my early birds. If you want a reply from me, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching and see you in my next video.